Study 21 in the book of Numbers, and once again we will be covering two chapters today, chapter 28 and chapter number 29. We will not read the entirety of these two chapters, but just a portion of it. There are two questions that we will attempt to answer. The first one, distinguish between the daily sacrifice throughout the year offered every morning and evening and the additional sacrifices on the Sabbath, at the new moon each month, throughout the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and at the Passover itself, at the Feast of Weeks, at the blowing of the trumpets, on the Day of Atonement, and at the Feast of Tabernacles. Secondly, it was easy for these sacrifices to become mere ritual, so much so that later prophets strongly condemned their misuse. And what was the purpose of these offerings and God's real requirements in and through them? Well, let's look at a portion of Numbers chapter 28 and 29 together. From Numbers 28, the Lord said to Moses, "Give this command to the Israelites and say to them that you present to me at the appointed time the food for my offerings made by fire as an aroma pleasing to me. Say to them, this is the offering made by fire that you are to present to the Lord. 2 lambs a year old without defect as a regular burnt offering each day. Prepare 1 lamb in the morning, the other at twilight, together with a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil from pressed olives. This is a regular burnt offering instituted at Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire. The accompanying drink offering is to be 1/4 of a hin of fermented drink with each lamb. Pour out the drink offering to the Lord at the sanctuary and prepare the second lamb at twilight along with the same kind of grain offering and drink offering that you prepare in the morning. This is an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord." Now let's look at the Sabbath offering. On the Sabbath, make an offering of 2 lambs a year old without defect, together with its drink offering and grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. So you'd have the Sabbath offering and the regular offering that day. On the first day of every month, so every first day of the month, present to the Lord a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil with the ram, a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, and with each lamb a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. This is a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire. And with each bull there's to be a drink offering of 1/2 a hin of wine, with the ram 1/3 of a hin, and with each lamb 1/4 of a hin. This is the monthly burnt offering to be made at each new moon during the year. Besides the regular burnt offering, that daily offering with its drink offering, 1 male goat is to be presented to the Lord as a sin offering. So you had this same thing almost exactly repeated for all of the different festivals, with the two bulls, the 1 ram, and the 7 lambs. So let's look at the questions then without reading the rest of the passage together. I'd encourage you to look at it on your own. Let's make the distinction between then all of these different sacrifices that are listed in this question. Well, the daily offering every day, that offering was identical to the offering that was offered on the Sabbath of 2 lambs 1 year old, with a grain offering and an offering of a drink offering of fermented drink. So I had the 2 lambs, grain offering, drink. 1 lamb with its grain offering and its drink offering in the morning, 1 lamb with its grain offering and drink offering at twilight. And then in the Sabbath, you had this same thing additionally to the regular daily offering. The monthly offering, or the new moon offering, the Passover offering, the Feast of Weeks sacrifices, those all consisted of 2 bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs. Now the Passover, the unleavened bread, that was a festival for a week, and the sacrifices would have to be made on a daily basis. And then there was a grain offering and a drink offering that accompanied the bull, the ram, and the lamb. And interestingly enough, the size of that grain offering and the drink offering diminished in accordance with the size of the animal being offered. There was also, this is very important, along with this burnt offering, there was a sin offering offered of one male goat for each of these sacrifices, for each one of these festivals that took place, including the Sabbath. During the Feast of Trumpets and the Day of Atonement, there was, however, only one bull that was offered and not two. And also on the Day of Atonement, there was an additional goat that was the scapegoat that went out into the wilderness. So a male goat was also sacrificed on those days as a sin offering. The Feast of Tabernacles was slightly different. It lasted for 7 days, like the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but there were 13 bulls that were to be sacrificed, 2 rams and 14 lambs. And each day, this is what happened. The first day, 13 bulls were sacrificed. The second day, 12 bulls. The third day, 11 bulls. On down until you get to the seventh day, and by then you're having 7 bulls sacrificed, 2 rams, and 14 lambs. But then on the 8th day, to close out the sacrifice, there's 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs that are made as a sacrifice. Question number 2, it was easy for these sacrifices to become mere ritual. You can see why. I mean, just a lot of, they're the same, they're repetitious, so much so that later prophets strongly condemned their misuse. What was the purpose then of these offerings and God's real requirement in and through them? Well, the reason for the endless number of sacrifices and the need to have sacrifices twice every day and for every new moon and every festival. Anytime anything important came up, there was another sacrifice, and it was just an endless reminder to the people that no matter how often they sacrificed, they couldn't get it, they couldn't achieve their forgiveness. And the endless numbers of sacrifices was also a constant reminder of their sin. Today, we don't have a constant reminder of our sin. We should really have a constant reminder of our forgiveness. That's what the cross and that's what the empty tomb is all about. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I hope you're enjoying this study, and I hope the rest of your day is even better. God bless, and we'll see you next time for the next study in the book of Numbers.